Let's do a tier list slash power ranking for all 136 FBS programs that will be in college football 26. This takes a long time to make, a very long time to make. We did this over on Twitch. We're streaming more, we're streaming content and posting it on YouTube. Make sure you tap into the Twitch if you want to see this stuff live. Full transparency, we use this website, Team Crafter. We used it just to help a little bit, man. It's a useful website. It has the overalls, but more importantly, it has every single player that's on the new roster, man. And we just don't have the rosters yet. I might make a video breaking this whole thing down, but it has overalls. And like I said, the overalls is not going to be completely accurate, but it's semi-accurate. It is. I ain't going to lie, man. These overalls are going to be a lot lower this year, so just keep that in mind. Overalls is going to be lower this next year. Other than that, let's get into the power rankings and let's start moving these teams around. So, the tier list. So this is going to be my tier list. So if y'all disagree with a team, I hear y'all. But this is my tier list, man. So, and we'll break it down. So the top tier is pretty much the most fun rebuilds, the most challenging, the elite rebuild. It's going to be all difficult, fun, whether it's fun because the uniforms, the stadium, or just because it's a fun rebuild that's super challenging. That's going to be my top tier. Fun, obviously, is just a rebuild that's entertaining. That could be fun. A rebuild you probably should do is going to be in that fun category. Could be fun. Maybe I should have did a better job of naming these categories. Could be fun. This could be a lot of rebuilds. It could be a lot of teams that could be in this category. It's a lot of could be's. But this is going to be like the middle of the pack, you know, kind of even kill for me. Easy is going to be just a rebuild that's a little bit too easy. Whether they got a good roster, whether they got a good team, it's a little bit too easy. And then too easy is going to be your elite teams, whether they got great pipelines in a good area. Just a rebuild that's probably a little bit too easy. You could do this. It could be niche. This could be a rebuild for you, but it's too easy. If this is your favorite team, or you know you're from this area, you went to this school, you want to do this rebuild, but it's too easy at the end of the day, man. We're also going to use this database to help us out, man. And what this is, if y'all haven't seen it before, is actually a database that's supposedly ranking all of the college football teams by their overall. And you know, this year the overall is going to be a lot lower. What's up, y'all boys? What's up? How y'all boys doing, man? B Nick, how you, bro? And so it's going to be, it's not 100% accurate, but for example, you got Delaware here has a 69 overall. They're probably gonna be lower than that, man. Kent State went 0-12 last season. They're 67 overall. Akron is the lowest. Like, Kent State should be the lowest overall team if it's not Delaware or the other Missouri State here as a 70. Probably a little bit too high for Missouri State, but it is what it is. It's very accurate though. Like, let's go to Colorado here, because I'm just more familiar with their roster. And like, we look at Colorado and it's pretty darn accurate, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, quarterbacks, it got Caden Salters, Julian Lewis. Your running backs, it got all the running backs. It even got like the tight ends, like even the guys that, you know, was third round, or excuse me, 3 stars. Like, it actually is very accurate of like what the roster will look like for every single team. So this is a pretty good tool. We're going to use this to help us rank these teams. We're not going to use it 100%, but we're definitely going to rely on it a little bit, because it kind of just shows us what every single roster will look like a little bit, man. And it's funny, Colorado best 2 players supposedly are O-linemen, which might be the case, man. Might actually be the case this year. Now, with that being said, we could just go ahead and get right in, man. Let's get right into let's hop right into it, man. What conference should we start off with? Guess the ACC. All right. Clemson. Too easy, man. I mean, this is a team that's very good. Too good. Honestly, will be a playoff team probably this upcoming year. Not much to say, man. They won their conference last year. Just a roster that is too good. Also, let's go with Miami, another team that's just also in that too good category. They're going to be upper 80s. You know, should be a team that, obviously, you lose your best player, Cam Ward. You lose a couple other guys. It's going to be not a rebuild year, but this is still going to be a top team in the ACC. SMU is an interesting one, man. And SMU, obviously a playoff team. I'm going to put them in the easy category, man. I don't think they're a too easy. Hey, I appreciate that follow over on Twitch, man. I don't think they're too easy at all by any means. Can I move this? But you do lose some stuff. And, you know, was it a fluke? I don't want to call it a fluke that they made the playoffs, but we seen what happened in the playoffs. I'm gonna put them in the easy category for sure. Let's go Syracuse next, and I'm gonna put this in the could be fun category. Fran Brown, head coach over there at Syracuse. I like him, man. I like Syracuse. I think they could be a very fun rebuild. I don't think it'll be too challenging because the roster is actually not in a terrible spot. They actually had a pretty good year last season as well. I'm gonna put them in the could be fun category, borderline easy. Depend how you feeling. I'm gonna put them in the I'm putting them in that category, man. Next, let's go Georgia Tech here. If we could find them, where are these boys? Georgia Tech, GT. I'm gonna also put them in the could be fun category. Another borderline easy. I think Pipeline's pretty good. Roster in a solid spot. Had a solid start to the year. Kind of fell off towards the end. Ended up going 7-5 on the season. But they are a team that has like building blocks. Like it's not gonna be a horrible rebuild. It could be fun, especially if you just want to do a Georgia Tech. But it also could be a little bit on the easier side here, man. Next, let's go Louisville if we're able to find them here. Go with the Cardinals and same story, man. Like, nah, easy. We'll go in the easy category, man. Had a pretty good season, man. 9-4, competitive season. I think this would be an easier rebuild. Let's put it at the top because this is borderline, could be fun. It's not a rebuild I would do. It's just not. You know, it's just not. Just because I think that roster is in a solid spot and I don't see the fun element in my eyes. So next, let's go with Bill, man. I mean, Bill Belichick. I mean, I feel like it gotta be a could be fun, right? It gotta be. Like, especially if you do it how Bill would do it in real life. If you do it with his mindset, like no recruiter, you cannot touch a recruiter because he don't have much experience recruiting. If you do it like actually kind of accurate, this could be a very fun rebuild and maybe even could move up to the fun category. But for now, we'll put it in the could be fun. Also, NC State, I think it's going to be a lot of could be fun teams, man. I think that's going to be the category. That's just like the middle of the road category. So I think that's going to be a lot of these teams. Next, let's do, I guess, Virginia Tech, VT. VT is another one that's like middle of the road. Like they didn't have a great year by any means. Didn't have a great year, but also just middle of the road. Could be a fun rebuild if this is what you're into. I think the jersey and the stadium, nice. Not amazing, but also let's go Bill O'Brien. I borderline want to put these boys in the fun category, man. Borderline want to put Bill O'Brien in the fun category. Fun, could be fun. Nah, it can't be the first fun, right? It can't be the first fun, man. What's up, bro? What's up? How y'all boys, man? Enter the Sandman at VTech. I mean, for that reason, we should damn near move it up to fun. But BC, Boston College, I'm putting them in the could be fun, man. I think it's a solid rebuild. I don't think anyone dying to go do a Boston College rebuild. No offense to Boston College by any means. Next, let's go ahead and get NC State off the board. Where these boys at? NC State, I mean, bro, we'll put them in the could be fun. I think it's borderline easy. NC State, I mean, I don't think you'll have a super tough time recruiting at all. I also like the story. I also like the talent on this team. They're kind of just inconsistent. Didn't have the best year, but kind of just another middle-of-the-pack team from this past season. Next, we will go Florida State, man. And Florida State is an interesting one because the thing about Florida State is they didn't have a good year last year. Now they're going to bounce back. You said NC, yeah, bro. They got the dog bone. For the dog bone, I damn near should move NC State up to the could be fun. I mean, to the fun category for that dog bone. But no, Florida State. Would they go 2-10 last year? I believe. I believe they went 2-10 last year, man. And before that, made the play or should have made the playoffs, but they did not because their quarterback got hurt. I want to say this is an easy rebuild, man. Like I really do. The school prestige might be like a 3. It might drop a little bit, 3.5, 3. But I think Pipeline's good. You got a lot of history. I think that's an easier rebuild. I think it definitely could be fun just with the storyline of they went 2-10 last season. But I don't think this is a rebuild. Like unless you're a Florida State fan, I don't think you're you dying to go do a Florida rebuild, man. I just don't see that. And if I'm wrong, please let me know. Wake Forest is going to be next on this list. Whoa. So, yeah, Florida State, easy. Wake Forest. Wake Forest is now we're talking about a team that could be a fun rebuild. But they're not fun. There could be fun. Like I said, I think there's going to be a lot of could be funs, especially like in these ACCs, in the Power 4 conferences. It's not going to be that many rebuilds that's in these top categories unless it's going to be a handful. But a lot of these are going to be in the could be fun to easy to too easy just because you got the pipelines, you're a bigger program, you're in a better conference, like you're going to be able to recruit. It could be fun, but like also after 3 years, we'll see how recruiting actually looks when we get the game. In 3 years, your roster could be in a very good spot. Like just being honest. Like, if it's anything like past game, your roster could be in a very good spot within a couple years, man. Virginia, same story, man. A lot of these ACC teams are going to be in the fun category. Could be fun category, man. I just don't see the separation. All right, but I do want to do Stanford. And Stanford is where I'll move to the fun category, in my opinion, man. It's going to be a rebuild. So the thing about Stanford, that roster is not great, but they have amazing pipelines. So you could actually, like, if you love recruiting, you could, if pipelines are going to be the same as last year, like you could bring in top recruiting classes pretty quickly with Stanford, and I think that's the fun element, in my opinion. We're not done with the ACC. But I think Stanford could be moved into that fun category, man. I definitely think so. Just because the pipelines, the recruiting, the roster not in a great spot, but you could turn it around pretty darn quick. Duke, the basketball school, man. First of all, shout out to the NCAA college basketball for making the video game happen. Unfortunately, we gotta wait 3 years? 3 years. Also, yeah, elite academic prestige for Stanford. Can't forget about that. 3 years is crazy, though, man. 3 years is nuts to have to wait for this next video game, man. But I think it's another one that could be a fun rebuild. I'm going to put them in the could be. Duffy, if you want to put it in fun, I'm not mad at you. I'm going to go could be fun, especially if you go in with the storyline of it's a basketball school. You're going to dominate Duke. You're going to put Duke on the schedule every single year. Or not Duke. Kentucky on the schedule every single year. You're going to match up against them boys. Duffy could be moved up a category. I'm going to leave him in the fun, though, man. I'm definitely going to leave him in the fun. Who we have left in the ACC? Did I get everyone? I think I got everyone in the ACC. I think so. I think I got everyone. Nope, California is the one school I'm missing. Kyle. Man, I hope Deshaun Jackson come back and coach at Cal at some point in his career, man. I hope Deshaun Jackson, obviously Deshaun Jackson is at Delaware State right now, HBCU. But I hope some way he found his way to Cal, he progressed, and make his way back to his alma mater, man. I think that would be a super cool story. What do that have to do with it right now? Nothing. But I'm putting him in. It could be fun. Another team that's in California. Pipelines is not as good as Stanford. Nowhere near as good as Stanford. If we're basing it off last year's game. roster is going to be a little bit better overall wise than Stanford, but just a rebuild that's, if you want to rebuild, Kyle, cool, but it's not going to be a fun rebuild in my opinion. It could be fun, depending how you do it. Next, let's move on to, I guess, the Big Ten. Let's get all the Power 4 conferences out the way. Notre Dame and the ACC. No, we'll do Notre Dame with the Independents. Let's move on to the Big Ten. Big Ten, man. Big Ten. And let's get the easy ones out the way with, I guess. Let's get the easy ones out the way with Oregon. Where's Penn State? Penn State. Just get the easy ones out the way with. Also go Ohio State. Get the easy ones out the way with. 3 schools that, if all 3 of these teams make the playoff next year, I don't think anyone's surprised. I think it's a given that 2 of these 3 teams make the playoff next year. Out of Oregon, Penn State, and Ohio State, man. Second best conference in the league outside the SEC. Is what it is. Too easy. If you want to do these rebuilds, like maybe you went to school here, maybe you're doing a situation like I did where you're trying to outdo Nick Saban with Auburn, and you're picking the top team. But outside of that, I don't see much reason to do this rebuild. If I'm being honest, I really don't. Let's also throw Indiana in the easy category. Breakout season for them boys. They bring back their quarterback. Do they bring back their quarterback? I think. Don't quote me on that. I believe they bring back their quarterback. I forget his name. But, do we come back? I think so. Someone let me know in the comments. But, yeah, I think it's an easier rebuild. Definitely think it's an easier rebuild. Let's move on to the next team, Iowa. Man, if you do Iowa right, and so I'm opinion it could be fun, but if you do the Iowa rebuild how I think you should, this is a fun rebuild. And how you should do it is you don't recruit anything on offense. 3 stars or lower on offense. That's your max. They're a defensive team. I understand. They had a better year on offense this past season. They're a defensive program. That's what they're known for. I don't want to say that's what they're always going to be, but that's what they're known for. If you do that, offense, nothing but 3 stars. That's your max. Defense, 5 stars, 4 stars, whatever you want to do. I think if you do it that way, it's a fun rebuild. If you do it normal, I think it moves down. But I'll leave it could be fun because, like I said, that's a situational type rebuild, man. Hey, Rob, appreciate that follow on Twitch, bro. Next on our list, let's go with Maryland, man. I love me some DMV Maryland, man. The Under Armour school, I believe they have like the owner something. I don't want to say it wrong, but I know a high level person at Under Armour actually like works for the university. I think this also could be a fun rebuild, man. Hey, Dry, appreciate that follow on Twitch, my guy. I think this also could be could be fun rebuild. If you do this DMV only, I think it moves up to that fun category. If you just do it traditional, I think it moves up to the fun category. Also, I forgot about Michigan. Let's go ahead and get Michigan to the easy category. You obviously got a very good quarterback, freshman quarterback. We'll see what overall he comes in. Cover athlete. Only tight ends for Iowa. Obviously, you got to cover athlete here at quarterback, man. Like you do. You got to cover athlete here at quarterback. I'll be interested to see if it overall comes in at we could look here, man. I know this website is not going to be 100% accurate, but, we could look to see what they'll have as overall. And, they got Bryce Underwood coming in as the 81 overall, man. And, like I said, this is not 100% accurate. If he comes in as an 81, that's pretty darn good, man. I ain't gonna lie, that's pretty darn good. We'll actually have to see, though. But this is a team that had a very good end to the season. I believe they beat Alabama in their bowl game to end the season. And I believe they went 6-6, beat Alabama in the bowl game, ended the season 7-6. And you bring in the number 1 player. Do he start day 1? I don't know. I don't know. But if you do, I think you're in a pretty good spot. I'm not going to lie, man. I do think you're in a pretty good spot. Let's also talk to here this team. And this is another one where I would consider the easy category. Matt Rule is doing a solid job. I think a lot of people, man, I ain't gonna lie. Before this last football season, a lot of these sports people pissed me off with Nebraska, man. Like saying Nebraska was going to be a top-ranked team, and they said Dylan Raiola, who was the 5-star quarterback, was going to be a Heisman candidate as a true freshman. And that wasn't further from the truth. Like, they didn't have a bad season by no means, but they didn't have a good season. They was middle of the pack. I don't know their exact record, maybe 7-5, 6-6, somewhere in that ballpark. But just the amount of hype they was getting, and I'm not sure if it was deserved, was a little bit annoying. But this is a team with potential moving forward. They did lose a 5-star receiver. He did walk out the door, but you do bring in some other pieces. You also lost like a D lineman, who I believe also transfer out. I want to say it's an easier rebuild because it depends what you like, man. If you don't want to have to worry about go getting a quarterback year one or at all, pretty much, like within your rebuild, like you could win a national championship with Dylan Raiola as your quarterback. You can win a national championship with Bryce Underwood as your quarterback, and I feel like that makes the rebuild a little bit easy. When I'm looking for a rebuild, I want a team with a bad quarterback because I want to go recruit my quarterback, bring him in. Everyone don't want that. So I would just, me personally, I would go ahead and put them in the easy category. Let's move on to Minnesota, man. And first, shout out to my guys, man. Shout out to my guys, Minnesota. Minnesota is a top 10 team for me to, like, I'm considering rebuilding them when I live stream on release day. I'm considering it. I'm not going to lie. They're probably in my top 10. It could be a fun rebuild, man. Pipeline's not amazing. Roster, solid, not good. Not very good for his conference, to be honest, man. I'm not expecting a great season from them boys either. But it could be a fun rebuild. You know, it could be a fun rebuild. Kind of bottom of the Big Ten team right now. Could be fun. Now let's go with little brother of Michigan, and that's going to be Michigan State. And this is an interesting one, man. Do you go could be easy? I think you go, or not could be easy. Could be fun. I think that's the choice here. Could be fun. Little bro to Michigan. Overall, not amazing this year. Other than that, don't know too much about their roster. Don't know too much about their roster at this current point. So we're going to put them in that category, man. Let's move on. Let's move on to, I guess, Northwestern. Northwestern also could be fun. Hey, I'm being stingy. I'm not going to lie, man. I'm being stingy with my fun and my top tier, man. I'm being very stingy. I'm putting Northwestern also in the could be fun. And I'm going to explain the could be fun one more time. It just depends how you're going to do it. Like, if you just go in this rebuild all normal, you might have fun, you might not. But if you go into some of these rebuilds with, like, actual intentions and, like, a thought process, I think that'll definitely make the rebuild. Purdue, I'm going to put in the fun category because it's one of the worst teams, if not the worst team in the conference, you know. It probably is. I believe they went, 1-10 last season? I think 1-10 last season, man. Just not a good roster right here, man. It's just not a good roster right now. And you could turn it around. You're in the second best conference, so it's, you know, it's not like you're in a cupcake conference. You're going to have to actually turn this team around and actually become good. So I'm going to put this team in the fun category. Purdue. Would I do a Purdue rebuild? Probably not. But it could be fun. Rutgers, man. Rutgers had an amazing O-line last season. I don't know if a lot of people knew that. Very good O-line this season. I don't know how much of that talent they return. I really don't. It could be a fun rebuild. You know, is it the only Jersey team in the game? Or am I wrong on that? I think it's the only Jersey team in the game. I feel like for that reason, got to be a could be fun rebuild, man. You don't have many teams. Yeah, I think it's the only Jersey rebuild. And for that reason, could be fun. I'm laughing because the next team on the list here, man. The next team on the list. Nico! Is Nico fun or could be fun? Nico. So, the first trade ever in college football, Nico and Tennessee, going from Tennessee to UCLA. I'm probably going to drop him down to the could be fun in all reality. Wasn't a great team last year. I'm interested to see how they do this upcoming season. I'm interested to see recruiting. Not going to be super difficult. You're in California. You have a quarterback who is, believe it or not, whether you like him or not, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the video game. He probably will be like an 85 plus. I think this past year, he 88, 89. I'm assuming his overall will be something similar than that. But the rest of the roster is what it is. We'll see how good they are in real life. I think it could be a fun rebuild, man. I don't know how many years you get out of Nico before he leave. You might only get 1 year and then he go on to the NFL. You might get 2 years. So for that reason, I'm picking it could be fun, but definitely borderline fun. Next, let's go with Lincoln Riley. If we could find these boys from California, here we go. Damn, easy. I'm putting them in easy category, man. Transfer quarterback, Lincoln Riley, the quarterback guru. I mean, it's just a top tier team, and roster not amazing, but they could have a breakout season. They could have a breakout season. I wouldn't be surprised if they win 8-9 games. You're never going to have a tough time recruiting with this team, with Lincoln Riley. I mean, obviously, you're probably going to make your head coach. You're just not going to have a tough time recruiting or bringing in talent. It's an easier rebuild, man. It's going to be an easier rebuild. Washington made the playoffs a couple years ago. Could be a fun rebuild if you want to play off that storyline. Taking them back to, where they wanted to go, where they actually wanted to win the national championship. Wasn't good enough that year. But it could be a fun rebuild, Also in that West Coast area where recruiting, I feel like it's so competitive, man. I hate going up. In the past game, the two areas I hate recruiting against is probably just California, West Coast in general, but especially California, and number one had to be Florida, man. I hate going up against – I hate a kid from Florida in recruiting, man. I just never get them. Man. So I'm putting them in the could be fun. A lot of could be funds here, man. Next, we got Wisconsin. Guess what? It could be a fun rebuild. Probably not for me. I do enjoy their mascot. I don't know the name of that guy. I really don't. But I do enjoy their mascot, the Badgers. But this could be a fun rebuild. Don't really move my needle. The website has them as an 81 overall, which will kind of be a middle of the pack team in the conference. Will be a middle of the pack team. And the more I look at this, the more I want to move Maryland up to fun, but we're going to leave them there, man. We're going to leave them there. Maryland just didn't have a great year last season, but we're going to leave them there. Next, let's move on. I'm forgetting someone who I'm forgetting. Illinois. Oh, man, I'm forgetting Illinois. Appreciate that. Before we move on, Illinois. I mean, overall-wise, they're telling me they're 85 overall. That's making me believe they're easier rebuild, but I refuse to put them in the easy category. I just do. I refuse to put them in the easy category. Could be a fun rebuild. I don't know too much about their roster, so let's look. Let's look to see what their roster is looking like. Let's come over here, and let's look to see what this roster is looking like here, man. So it's 92 overall, outside linebacker, left tackle, Luke at quarterback as an 89 overall. I'm not familiar with your game, big dog. He's a senior. Not familiar with his game. Got a solid running back. I mean, it's looking like a pretty solid team. Got some guys overall. Yeah, we'll put them in the could be fun, borderline easy just off of that. And as we know, that's not going to be the most accurate overalls. but it could be a fun rebuild. Let's move on to. Let's go Big 12 on them, man. Let's go Big 12. Let's go Big 12, and let's start off with Arizona. And bro, can my mouse? Arizona. This is a team that has some potential. Like overall wise, they're not going to be great. So you lose your receiver, but you keep your running back, or excuse me, your quarterback Noah, who I believe in last year game was like what a 89, 88 overall. He's small. He's like 5'10", I believe. He's on the smaller side, but a pretty darn good quarterback. Like I said, just a little bit small. And we'll see how the height situation happens. I forgot Pitt. All right, we'll get Pitt. Appreciate that. We'll see how the height situation happens in, the video game when it comes to quarterbacks playing worse if they're shorter or, you're not really able to see over the O-line. We'll see how that actually plays out. But I think Arizona could be a fun rebuild. I enjoy Arizona in real life. It could be fun. Let's go ahead and do Pitt before we completely forget about them boys like we already did. And Pitt, they bring back Eli Holstein, their starting quarterback, who is actually from Louisiana, where I'm currently at. And I think Pitt is another one that could be fun here. I'm from Pennsylvania, and I don't support Pitt. I'm a Temple guy, man. I'm a Temple guy. But no, I really do think this could be a fun rebuild. Like, this is another one where you got a quarterback for the next couple years, give you a couple years to get another quarterback in there. They had a very good start to this past season. Fell off after that good start to the season. But this is not a horrible roster. This website has them as a 78 overall. I don't know if I believe that. I think they're a little bit better than that. If I'm being honest, 78 overall just seems a little bit low to me. I would probably say like 82 if it was up to me. But let's go back to the Big 12. So Arizona State is going to be a too easy, man. You got a very good young head coach. Also a team that won their conference, made their playoffs. Damn near too easy. Damn near. Damn near. Pitt got a nice stadium and also cool colors. Yeah, man, I like Pitt, man. Yeah, I'm doing conference by conference, bro. Yeah, I would say Arizona too easy, borderline too easy, but yeah, definitely just an easier rebuild, man. Who's next here? Let's go on Baylor, and Baylor. Now I think I'll put Baylor in the fun category. I don't think you'll have a tough time recruiting. Now, roster-wise, they had a better year this past season than I think what a lot of people thought they was going to have. They did have a better season. A lot of people thought they was going to be at the bottom of the Big 12. They was not. I believe they went, 6-6? I believe. But point is, I think this could be a fun rebuild because, like, this is actually a rebuild. You're rebuilding them to get back to the top where they were at. Some of these rebuilds are, not really rebuilds, they're builds. When I talk about my Temple rebuild, I'm building them because they was never built in the first place. So I think this is actually like a rebuild situation. So I do like that idea. I'll put them in the fun category, but at the end of it, man, at the end of the fun category, is borderline, it could be fun. I'm talking myself into it. Borderline, it could be fun. BYU is definitely could be fun. It's not a too easy. They had a very good start to the season. Me personally, I wasn't a BYU believer. Like, as far as I didn't think they was an elite team. I think they was like undefeated up until a certain point in the year. I just wasn't a BYU believer, if I'm being honest. I just wasn't. But this is the following year. The website has them rated as an 84 overall. I think this a roster that's not horrible. Definitely. They'll definitely compete in the conference once again in back-to-back years. I'm going to put them in the could be fun, man. If you got to go out, you might have to go out your way to have some fun, but it could be fun. We'll go Cincinnati. Another one that's could be. It's another one that could be. I can't put these boys in the fun category, man. I can't. I can't. This could be fun. 81 overall roster. Yes, it could be. Colorado. Colorado is I'm thinking about doing Colorado as my first rebuild for my live stream, and I'm gonna put them in the fun category because if I do them as my first rebuild, I'm doing transfer portal only, and I think that would be a super fun idea. I really do. And yes, the transfer portal is going to be jumping this year. I'm going to put that slider to max, and we can only recruit transfers because, Colorado in real life, the last 2 years under Deion Sanders, they had like 50 players transfer out each year, and they brought in like 30, 50 players back in the transfer portal. So we're going to do exactly that and see if we can win a national championship. So for that reason, I'm putting them in the fun category because I know how I want to rebuild them. Whether I do this rebuild day one or if I do this rebuild, 3 weeks into the game. And also, they lost everything, man. They lost everything. Obviously, they had a good year. A better year than a lot of people thought. 9-4. I believe they went 9-4. Almost made the playoffs. They almost made the playoffs. Pretty much one game away. If they don't lose one of them games early in the year, they could make the playoffs. But this is a roster that lost everything. Shador, Travis Hunter. You lose your top 4 receivers. Travis Hunter, of course, Jimmy Horn, LaJohntay Wester, Will Shepard. That's 4 receivers that's on NFL rosters right now. What do you bring in to replace them? Is Deion in the game? Deion's not in the game. What do you bring in to replace him? You bring in a couple transfer. I believe you bring one transfer in from the group of 5 level, and you got some young Lions that you hoping could step up. Tight end, question mark. O-line, you do have an elite left tackle, and you bring in a guy from Memphis. I think his name is Xavier Hill that we looked at earlier. He will be an instant starter, probably at right tackle or guard. The O-line, other than those two, might be a little bit of a question mark. You have 4 brand new starters on the O-line, so do a lot of rosters do. D-line, you lost your best D-lineman to the transfer portal, and your other best D-lineman to the league. You lost your best middle linebacker, transfer to Alabama. You lost your best cornerback, best returning cornerback in Colton Hood, transfer to the SEC, I believe. You lose a lot. You just lose so much with this Colorado roster. I'm explaining why I'm doing this. I want to do this rebuild. I'll put them in the fun category, man. I will. I'll put them in the fun category. Spend a lot of time on Colorado. I just know a lot about that roster, man. Houston. Yeah, Houston next here, man. Houston didn't have a great year. I think it could be fun. I wouldn't go straight up fun. I do like Houston. I do like Houston facilities as far as like their stadium. Also, I like the uniforms. And I also know some people that work at the University of Houston. I met one of their coaches recently. I met their softball coach, and she kind of just was telling me how tough it is to recruit against these other programs. I know it's softball, but football is similar. It's super tough to recruit against these other programs. You're in Houston, a primetime location. If I'm a 5-star and I'm from a small town in Iowa, Houston come calling, hey man, I might want to go to Houston. It sounds like a good time. But other than that, you look around and you got a bunch of other teams in Texas that might have a little bit more, will when it comes to recruiting power and maybe also a little bit more money. It puts you in a tough position. I think it could be fun. It's a roster that's not ready to compete. Maybe 4 or 5 years away. Yeah, definitely probably 4 or 5 years away. Iowa State also could be fun here, man. Another team that's an 82 overall is what the website got them rated as. I don't know too much about their roster. Next, let's go with the basketball school, man, the Jayhawks. Jayhawks, let's put them right next to Duke, man. I think we're going to put Duke, Kentucky, and the Jayhawks all lined up here, and it could be fun, man. I think similar storyline. If you want that storyline, hey, I'm going to rebuild a basketball school. I'm going to do something. think could be fun. Kansas State. This is one of them ones where if you played college football 25, you should know Kansas State might be the best simulation team. They might be. Kansas State has the best offensive playbook in the game in college football 25. And I feel like they will have the best offensive playbook in 26 also, man. Avery Johnson is also the GOAT. Quarterback, he turns into like a 95 overall in half of the rebuilds in 25. We'll see what happens in 26. But I think he's going to be a senior in this game. Their roster is only rated as an 82 overall. I think he's going to be a senior. Maybe he's a junior. But also you got a pretty good running back. You got Dylan Edwards, transfer from Colorado. He should be 95 plus speed. This is a fun rebuild, man. Fun offense at least. But it's not a team I'm super interested in rebuilding just because I feel like they got a little bit too many pieces for me. It depends what you want. I'm a guy that, like I said, I like to rebuild bad teams. So rebuilding the team that got a quarterback, a running back, some receivers is like, that's not a rebuild for me. I'd rather go with, a bad team and really build them up here, man. This next one, Oklahoma State, and I want to come over here and look at their roster because they're rated at 73 overall. And obviously, you got Ali Gordon leaving, and he didn't have a great senior year. What's that quarterback situation look like? You do have some speed coming from the freshman. 91 speed freshman quarterback here. And this website pretty cool, man. Throw accuracies. We don't know how accurate this stuff will be. Obviously, we have no idea of development traits or, anything like that. But I think all this stuff is somewhat accurate, man. But this is a team I'm gonna put this in the fun category, man. It's not a good roster, but you do have a young, I like a project quarterback like that, man. Like the thing about Avery Johnson, what you're getting. You're getting a star. And he might not be a star overall wise. He might only be an 85 overall. We'll see what his overall actually comes out as. But he's gonna come in with elite speed, good arm. I like the project guys. I really do. So we're going to pit them boys. We're going to put them boys in the fun category, man. I do think that could be a fun rebuild. Overall, a 73 is crazy and low-key surprising. TCU, the Horned Frogs. This could be fun one, man. Another team similar with where's Washington? Similar with Washington, man. A team that was recently in the playoffs, but couldn't get it done. This is a team that's in Texas. Another super. I spent them also next to Houston. Another just state where you got so many prospects coming from that state, but you also got so many teams in that state that you're competing with. I don't know. No, that's Oh, yeah, I put it in. It could be fun, man. Could be fun rebuild. Now, Texas Tech. So, I think this is a team that overall will shoot up throughout the year. We will put them in the too easy category, man. They go in the too easy category. And we'll look it up here. And I'll kind of show you guys why I want to put them in the too easy category. So they bring in a number one transfer portal class, man. They bring in the number one transfer portal class, and it's not even close. 100 index score to 70. LSU 70. They just bring in the best transfer portal class. And, bring in a lot of high-level guys. This is a roster that will be flipped around. I don't know what they did with the NIL budget, but they brought in Cash Cleveland, the walk-on transfer walk-on center from Colorado, transfer to these boys. You just bring in so many players, a lot of former elite players. The number one transfer portal class. If at the start of the transfer portal, I don't think anyone predicted these boys that have the number one class. You lose Micah Hudson, who is your 5-star receiver who transfers to Texas A&M, and then he transfers back to Texas Tech. So you lost him for a couple months. But yeah, I think that's going to be a too easy, man. A too easy. We'll see what they're overall actually listed in the game. The website has them as a 88. I don't know if they'll be an 88 day one. I do think that's a little bit too high from day one, but I think they'll get there. UCF. Could be fun. If you want to argue fun, I'm willing to hear you out. Super disappointing year last season for them boys. Super disappointing. It's a team I thought that was going to be pretty solid. They had a pretty solid quarterback, big body quarterback. Also had like 2 pretty solid running backs. Just didn't have the year they wanted. They're listed as a 78 overall. This is a lower end of the Big 12 team overall wise. It could be fun for me, man. It could be fun. Next, let's go. I know we got a lot of could be funs. A lot of could be funs here. Let's go on West Virginia. And guess what? It's another could be. West Virginia, I mean, I actually know a lot of people that went to West Virginia. I actually know a lot of people personally that went to West Virginia. I think it could be fun. Is there a possible chance you would do Kyle first? I don't think so, bro. First, no. Throughout the year, yes. I don't think first for Kyle. West Virginia is definitely going to be a could be fun for me. And same thing here with Utah. The Utes had a solid start to the year. I think they was projected. Cam Rising, man. Cam Rising. Is he in the game? No way he got another year eligibility, right? I know he got hurt. Cam Rising, former quarterback. He played so many years. No, he's done. He's done. Okay. Yeah, Cam Rising done. They're gonna be in the could be fun category for me. Yeah, he retired. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, he retired. All right, so that's gonna be the end of the Big 12. Y'all will let me know if I missed the school. Let's go ahead and finish off the Power 4 with the SEC. Man, so the SEC, Alabama too easy, Georgia too easy. We'll go LSU too easy. We'll go Ole Miss too easy. Do I want to go any other too easy? Tennessee, easy. All right, let's just start with those 4 for now. So Alabama, obviously a super. Oh, Texas, yeah, I forgot Texas. Yeah, we'll definitely go Texas too easy. And if I miss one, we'll go back. But these 4, we'll start with Alabama. I mean, Nick retired. You bring in Caleb DeBoer. You got quarterbacks from other rosters talking mess. Yeah, they're gonna have a good year, man. They're gonna have a good year. The one thing, whatever happened on the field last season with Caleb DeBoer and that team, maybe they ain't have the year they wanted to. They definitely ain't had the year they wanted to. They obviously want to make the playoffs. Their recruiting did not drop off one bit. Their recruiting did not drop off. That's one thing you cannot say about Caleb DeBoer, that he can't recruit. They are bringing in elite classes even without Nick Saban. And at one point, people thought Caleb DeBoer was doing better than Nick Saban when it came to recruiting. And that's just being honest. That's just being honest. So Alabama is definitely too easy. If that's your favorite team, you just want to win at it, cool. There's no reason to do Alabama. Georgia, same story. You got, a top 5 head coach in all of football. Oh my goodness. No way. Oh, it's saved. It's saved. We're good. We're good. We're good. I thought I had to redo all that. We got top 5 head coach in all of football here at your roster, on your team. You got a top 10 roster, top 5 roster maybe. You got to figure out who you gonna start at quarterback. I'm assuming it's gonna be Gunnar Stockland. If it's not him, you got some young Lions behind him. It's a too easy rebuild, man. There's nothing much to say. LSU is gonna be a top team. We'll see where they might be ranked in the top 10 to start this year, man. You got a very good quarterback. You got to improve defense. I mean, this is another very good team. Ole Miss, Same story. Another very good team in the SEC. You got another very good, very known, very young head or youngish head coach. I don't know what's his age, but he act on the younger side. So a lot of recruits kind of gravitate towards him. And then Texas, you got Arch Manning. For me, I got to see it. I got to see him under a full season and see how good he'll be. And that's not saying he's going to be bad at all. I just want to see it. I just want to see it, man. I just want to see him under a full year playing part-time reps and playing well in those. Yes, that's impressive. I just need to see a full year. But this is another team that has a very good roster across the board. The amount of blue chip players, insane. And this website actually have Texas as the best team on this entire league. They have them as a 92 overall. So yeah, too easy. Now let's actually get into some of the SEC teams that's not too easy. And the Razorbacks, you have a fun quarterback. Man. A Cam Ward or a Cam Newton type quarterback that is going to come in fast, strong, and hungry, man. If this is your type, Taylor Green, 6'6", 224 pounds, 91 speed. You got a big body at quarterback, man. You got a big body. You got a big boy. I think this could be a fun rebuild if that's what you're looking for. You got a receiver here, 87 overall. You got a couple receivers here, man. Like, this is a team. I'm not going to say you're going to go win the SEC, but you could go have some fun with this rebuild. And year one, you won't feel like an absolute liability. Now, for that reason, I'm going to put it in the could be fun category because, like, if that's your thing, I mean, that could be fun. That's not my thing, though. I would rather go at bottom of the SEC team. But that's definitely could be fun, especially with Green at quarterback. You've been thinking about Arkansas? Yeah, Arkansas is a solid one, bro. Arkansas is definitely a solid one. Next we go Auburn. Who's Auburn quarterback? Did they bring in a transfer quarterback, or is it Peyton Thorne? Who is their quarterback? Jackson. Oh yeah, they brought in Jackson Arnold. How did I forget that? Okay, yeah, definitely easy category. I forgot they got Jackson Arnold. Yeah, it's a easy. You got the quarterback. You got the 5-star receiver Cam Coleman. Jackson Arnold is only a junior. Yeah, this is an easier rebuild. He's coming in around an 85 overall. Jackson Arnold. That's going to be an easier rebuild in my opinion. Could be fun, but that's not going to be a rebuild for me personally. Let's move on. So we got Florida next, who is also going to be. I mean, do we go too easy for Florida, man? Do you go too easy for Florida? I think it's a conversation. If Miami's in the too easy, I think Florida got to be in the too easy, man. So think about, they have a 5-star quarterback, and he's is he a redshirt freshman, or did he break his redshirt last year? He might have broke his redshirt and played too many games. He probably did. But you have a sophomore quarterback, 5-star DJ Lagway, who should develop to be a very good player in the game. Yeah, and you got the pipelines. Yeah, too easy. You got the pipelines. Yeah, it's a too easy rebuild, man. Too easy rebuild. Could be fun though. I ain't gonna lie. It could be a fun rebuild. I feel like any SEC rebuild that's not, Georgia, Alabama, LSU, Texas, it could be a fun rebuild. Okay, it might take you 3-4 years to win it all, just because you might have the best roster, but you just might not do good in your conference. That's a legit possibility. I'm gonna put Tennessee in the easy category. Overall wise, they only got these boys as an 83. They had a pretty good year last year. You lose your centerpiece. No matter how you feel about the quarterback, he's good. Nico, I'm talking about. No matter how you feel about Nico, he's good. He's good. You cannot tell me otherwise. But you do lose your quarterback, and you do bring in the other guy. I forget his name, the transfer that came into Tennessee to play quarterback. But you do bring in a guy that could be solid, could be maybe just as good. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go easy for these boys, man. A lot of these SEC teams, if you want to put them in, it could be fun. I hear that, but I'm gonna go easy just because I think you have too easy of a time recruiting with these SEC schools. Like, they're going to come in with school prestige high. You're going to have a lot of hours to work with for most of these SEC teams. So, yeah, I think they're on the easier side here, man. Kentucky. Now we're talking about a rebuild that's getting challenging, borderline fun. Could be fun. If you're a Kentucky guy, we'll put him. I'll put it right next to Duke and Kansas. But if you want to put this in the fun category, I'll hear you out. This is the bottom of the SEC team year after year after year. They're listed as a 79 overall according to the website. You're going to struggle your first 3 years. You're going to struggle. You lost. They had 2 good receivers. I believe they both transfer out in real life. Yeah, they both transferred out. They had 2 good receivers. One went to LSU, and I forget where the other one went to. Your quarterback situation, you got Zach Harris at 81 overall. Could be fun. But just depend how you do it. Let's move on. Next we have Oklahoma. And I think it's going to be the same story with Tennessee, Auburn. You know, it's a team that's like, you're probably gonna have an easy time recruiting. Are you ready to win the Natty year 1? If you're good with the sticks, sure. Year 3, like, you probably in the conversation year 3 if you know what you're doing. Year 4, you winning it off. You winning in year 3 already. I think it's an easier rebuild. Roster not too far away from the other SEC teams for it to be difficult. South Carolina, definitely easy. Borderline too easy with the quarter. I mean, because South Carolina could be fun. Like, all depends what you're looking for, man. Like, if you I'm putting it could be fun. Because, like, I really think they have a roster that is fun. And, like, from Dylan Stewart to, Lenora Sellers to Nick Harbor. Let's go ahead and look at Nick Harbor. Yeah, I'm sure y'all know who Nick Harbor is. The 99 speed, 6'5", 335-pound receiver that run a 10-yard, 100-yard dash or a 10-second 100-yard dash. You got it. He only at 82 overall, but in the previous game, if he was fast, tall, you was money. You was money on a streak route. You got one of the best quarterbacks in the game. 91 overall here. He's fast, strong, tall. Could sling the rock too. Do it all quarterback. And then you also got the former 5-star defensive lineman Dylan Stewart. He's the one that did that gun celebration, man. I don't know if y'all seen where he got the sack and he got it. He did the gun celebration. That's Dylan Stewart, man. The 5-star. And he's a sophomore, 94 overall. And this is what I'm talking about when we need generational recruits in the game. Like, this is why. Like, he's a sophomore. By the end of his freshman year, this is telling me he was a 94 overall. Or maybe they accounting for off-season training boosts. But, like, I feel like Ryan Williams, Jeremiah Smith got all the love for being, the freshman standout. Well, they played a flashy position, receiver. Dylan Stewart deserves just as much love as them two, and Dylan Stewart deserves to be on that cover just as much as them two as well. Is what it is, though. Future number 1 pick for sure. But yeah, for me, it's just like, I like to see the O lineman, D lineman get love, and it's frustrating when he's a higher overall than probably Ryan Williams. He'd probably be higher overall than Ryan Williams, but I don't know. They should have did a 3-man cover with him on there as well. But is what it is. This is definitely it could be a fun rebuild. It's going to be easy, but this actually could be a fun rebuild because your roster is fun. You got, sophomore, and, also, I believe Nick Harbor is a junior, but he's going to return. He's not going to go to the league. It's just a could be fun to rebuild, man. Yeah, so we got a few more teams left. Oh, we forgetting the best teams of them all. Mississippi State. We talking about top tier. We talking about a top tier rebuild here, man. We finally get one in the top tier. This is a team that is not very good compared to the other SEC teams. When it comes to, would they go 2-10 last year, or is that? I think they went 2-10 last season. I believe they went 0-8 or 0-9 in conference play. I don't think they won a conference game last year. And someone will correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think they won a conference game last year. This is a team that, I don't know their record off my top of their hit or their schedule. They might also struggle to get another conference win, man. And think about rebuilding the team in the SEC. You got to build them to be the best team in the league to also win the SEC. It's not just like the American Conference. If you're the worst team in the American, all you got to do is build that team to be better than the best team in the American, and that might only be an 80 overall. Here, you got to build the team to be a 90, 93 in this situation because Texas is 92. Like, you got to actually build this roster up, and it takes time, especially when you're getting your head bashed in every week playing against other SEC teams. So, yeah, they're going to be definitely a top-tier team for me, man. So, yeah, we got a few more SEC teams here left. Missouri. Is Brady Cook gone? I think Brady Cook is gone. Let's look. Brady Cook was their quarterback. I think he probably graduated at this point. Yeah, he did graduate, so they have a new quarterback. Like, just looking at this roster, you got some guys. You got a running back. You got Kevin Coleman at receiver. You got some guys. It could be fun. What's up, bro? How you? It could be fun. I'm not going to put it in the easy category like I did with some of these other SEC teams. I'll leave them in the could be fun for now, man. I'll definitely leave them in the could be fun. So we got a few more teams left in the SEC. We got A&M. A&M, man. Remember when they brought in the best class ever? Do y'all boys remember that? When they brought in the best recruiting class ever, man. And I know it's not really relevant to right now. Bro, what are we doing? Oh, they combined their website. I hate that for what I'm trying to do here. Oh, man, these boys combined their website. But I believe I was trying to remember what year. It might have been 2021, 2022. They brought in the best recruiting class ever. And damn near all them players transferred out. All them players transfer out, man. Maybe except for one of them. One of them might still be on the roster. This is going to be an easier rebuild. You're going to have no trouble recruiting. This is a roster that's also not that bad. They're damn near too easy. Just because you can recruit good, and also you have Marcel Reed at quarterback, who is going to be a baby Lamar when it comes to running. I mean, he's might be the most athletic quarterback in the SEC. He might be. With Jalen Milroe gone, it's probably between Marcel Reed, also maybe Green from Arkansas. I mean, he might be the most athletic quarterback. He also could sling it. Yeah, easy rebuild, damn near too easy. You don't have to worry about the quarterback situation for the next 2 years. Hopefully he don't leave early on you. Next, let's go Vandy. And Vandy had a pretty solid year last season. But overall, like, we're going off history. I mean, they got to be a fun rebuild, man, if you're going off history. They had a good year last year, better year than people thought. Maybe better year than they thought they would have. Maybe not. I think it's a fun rebuild. Vandy in the SEC. I feel like if I pick Vandy up here, I also got to pick Kentucky up here. But I won't. I'll leave Kentucky with the other basketball schools. And I believe we have the SEC complete, man. Vandy is the top tier. I hear that. Bro, stingy with the top tier. Oh man, I'm being stingy with that top tier, man. I'm willing to hear that, man. We could put him at the top of the fun category, man. We'll put him at the top. We'll put him at the top. We'll put him at the top. All right. So let's move on to the Mountain West. But let's just go ahead and do all the military schools. We'll put all the military schools in the fun category, and I'm grouping them together because in my mind they're the same exact rebuild. When it comes to like, you should be, if you're gonna do the military school, you gotta do it how you're supposed to. You know, you just do. No transfers. Also, you know, you're not really supposed to give out scholarships. You're not supposed to recruit over 3-star players. Definitely not over 3-star players. Like, do it how you're supposed to. And I'm gonna put all of them together. You know, just a super similar rebuild, man. Boise State. And the reason I'm gonna put them in the easy category because this is the best team in the Mountain West. And you know, obviously you lose your starting quarterback. This is the best team in the Mountain West. Also, you got the field. You know, a lot of people don't like the blue field. I personally love the blue field. If the blue field jumped this up to the could be fun category for you, blue field in the uniforms, I'm willing to hear that. I just think it's an easier rebuild because you're going to dominate your conference and you could make the playoffs every single year. Even with the loss of Genty. And yeah, my thought process, like, I believe you could make the playoffs every single year with this team day one. Because, like, you could go 10-2 every single year with this roster. Or, like, with this team right now. You're the best team in the conference by far. And you're also going to recruit better than everyone else in your conference. It's a playoff team, man. It's a team that's coming off a playoff appearance. A first round bye also, right? Oh yeah, let's go ahead and knock out Oregon State and Washington State. Good call. Let's do the Beavers. Beavers could be fun. Could be fun, man. Roster not great, 78 overall. Washington State, I'll actually go ahead and throw into that fun category, man. They're not a good roster. They're not. They're low overall. 74 overall. We'll go ahead and throw them in the fun category. I believe this could be a good rebuild, man. Let's hop back into the Mountain West. Colorado State, little brother of Colorado. Man, now we're going to start getting into the funnish rebuilds, the more fun rebuilds. I think this will be a team that struggles next year, man. I think this will be a team that struggles next year. I believe they lost that quarterback. If y'all know, he said he got offered like $600,000 to go play at another school. And he didn't go. And I believe he didn't make the NFL this year. Come on, man. What we doing here, man? You got offered $600,000 and you ain't go, and then you also ain't make the NFL? Come on, man. I get NIL is, you know, frustrating from our standpoint, but if someone offer you $600,000, you should go. You should go. But I think it could be fun. Borderline fun. I just don't think I could have Colorado and Colorado State in the fun category. I don't know, something about that don't feel right to me, so we won't do it. Fresno State moving over to the West Coast. I just like the name of Fresno State, man. I don't know why. It's just like, I don't know, Fresno State, man. Also logo, is this not a top tier logo? Is that not a top tier Bulldog logo? To me, that is. It could be fun. If you want to move them up to fun, by all means. It's a middle of the pack Mountain West team here. Or did they move? Did they move conferences? Whoa. They may have moved conferences. Hold up. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they Pac-12. Colorado, yeah. Okay, a couple teams moved to the Pac-12. But still, could be fun category for me. All right. Now, this is where we get the top tiers, man. This is where we really get them top tiers. Hawaii. For me personally, my Hawaii rebuild in college football 25 might have been the most fun rebuild I had outside of the Temple series. I think Hawaii probably was the most fun I had outside of Temple. I did it super unrealistic, Hawaii in the SEC, but a fun rebuild, man. Challenging. Like recruiting out of Hawaii in college football 25, all they produced was O linemen and linebackers. That's all Hawaii used to produce. And I've had a rule where I had to recruit, I think, was it 5 to 10 Hawaii players, something like that. And it's like, if you do it like that, where you actually put rules on it, I'm Hawaii, I got to bring in 10 Hawaii players every year. It is what it is. If those 10 players, half of them 2 stars, half of them 3 stars, maybe one year you get lucky with a 5-star. But I think that's a top tier rebuild for me, man. Pipelines, not it. Pipelines, not it, man. Pipelines will not be it. Nevada, not a good team from this past season. We'll see what happens this upcoming year. But not a good roster. Didn't have a great year. I think it's a fun rebuild. Should be challenging. But at the same time, rebuilding teams in like these smaller conferences, it gets a little like, I don't want to say it gets easy, but like after 2 years, when you recruit top classes, the rebuild get a little easy. You got to move them to a tougher conference. But let's move on. New Mexico. It gotta be the back half of a top tier. The back half of a top tier, borderline fun. It's just gonna be a bad roster with the combination of bad pipelines. And also you're the worst team in your conference. And you're in a bad conference with bad pipelines. You see the correlation? It's just a tough rebuild, and that's, in my opinion, what makes a top tier rebuild, when it's also challenging, on top of challenging. So that's, for me, what makes a top tier rebuild. So yeah, they're going to be on the back half of that list. If you want to argue there in the fun category, I hear that, man. Next, let's go San Diego State. Who is their head coach, man? Oh, man. I forget the name of their head coach. He came from Colorado. He was Colorado offensive coordinator. Damn, I forget his name. Damn, what is his name? I know someone's going to comment it. I'll remember it here in a second. Where are these boys at? Am I just skipping over them? I think I am. Yeah, they're because their logo half blacked out. I think this also could be fun. But from the standpoint I think they're one of the best teams in the conference. I think they're going to be up there with Boise State when it comes to just being a better team in the conference. Like, so for that reason, I don't want to put them in the fun category. I think you're going to have Sean Lewis. There you go. Appreciate you. Yeah, Sean Lewis. I don't know how I was forgetting his name for that long. But yeah. I think it could be fun if you do it right. If you move them to another conference, maybe throw them in the Big 12. Maybe rebuild the Pac-12. I mean, no, obviously they're already going to the Pac-12, but maybe throw them in a tougher conference than the Big 12 or than the Pac-12. I like that idea a little bit. But all right, let's move on. Who do we have next here, man? UNLV, man. UNLV. The go-go offense, man. The go-go offense. I'm interested to see what that playbook looks like. That's a fun offense in real life, man. That's a fun offense. It's called the go-go. If y'all don't know, look it up. It's a pretty fun offense. And obviously they went through the whole situation with their quarterback entering the transfer portal at their first couple games, and he redshirted. But I definitely think this is a fun rebuild out there in Vegas. I'm putting them in the fun category, man. That offense is they're fun, great stadium also. Yeah, man. You said their playbook may change. But I'm still gonna put them in the fun category. Hopefully their playbook don't take that big of a hit. They lost that head coach. I thought it was the offensive coordinator to Purdue. We're going to have to see. Utah State. Need some water. Head coach went to Purdue. Purdue, entire staff. We're going to move him down. You got me. We're going to move him down. Utah, not a great roster. It's just nothing stands out to me. Like, we don't have no fun colors. We don't have a great stadium. We don't have a great field. We don't have a great roster. And, you know, maybe that's your reason to do this rebuild. But, you know, Hawaii, you got the colorful, you got the colorful roster, or excuse me, field, and then also you get the colorful uniforms. I enjoy the uniforms, and then also you get the struggling roster. It got to be a combination of things, man. Utah State, I don't get that. The Aggies, 71 overall. This website has them listed as that. I'm putting them in the could be fun, man. It's just I don't have an urge to go rebuild to rebuild them boys, man. San Jose State. It's another team that don't really move my needle. It's gonna be a better team in the conference, one of the better teams in the conference, better than middle of the pack maybe. I put them in a could be fun. We do get a little bit better uniforms. Like, when you're doing these rebuilds, you got to factor in everything, especially if you're going to play this thing for 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. You're going to be looking at them same uniforms, jerseys, fields, intros every single year, commentators. So all that stuff factors in. I'm going to do a could be fun here. UNLV, where I did them boys. Wyoming. I'm putting Wyoming in the back end, man. Go get you a Josh Allen. Why don't you? Go get you a young Josh Allen. Go get you a young Josh Allen, man. Why not? Why not? Go get you a young Josh Allen. It could be a fun rebuild if you do it right. Let's move on to the MAC. Let's move on to the MAC, man. And you get maybe the worst team in the game. We'll see. But could be one of the lowest overall rosters in the game. Akron. Recruiting going to be a little bit difficult. I mean, you're in Ohio, but you also got Ohio State. You got some of the big dogs around you, and your roster is in a bad spot. Literally one of the worst rosters in the game. And let's also follow that up with, a team that didn't win a game last year. It's a top tier rebuild, man. You said now we're at the fun part. Facts. I mean, you're talking about a team that didn't win a game last year, man. Sean Lewis used to be at Kent State. He went to Colorado. Then he went to San Diego State. I mean, I had a buddy that worked for Kent State football. He don't work there no more. Yeah, it's a top tier rebuild, man. It's a top tier rebuild. Ball State. Ball State is another roster that's not going to be good. In last year's video game, they might have been the lowest overall team. They may have been the lowest overall team in college football 25. The Cardinals. You say you live close by Akron, it's a mess. I'm going to go Ball State in the fun. I'm going to go with the fun category. But the top end of fun. If you want to go ahead and throw them in top tier, sure. But I'm gonna go with the fun category for a Ball State team, man. It's a challenging rebuild, but at the same time, when you're in the MAC, you don't have to rebuild your team to be an 80 over, or you don't have to rebuild them to be a 90 like you gotta do in the SEC. You just gotta rebuild them to be an 80, and you're the best team in the conference. So that's the only issue with some of these smaller rebuilds. You don't have to rebuild your team that long to become great in the conference. Now, you're not going to win many non-conference, but Bowling Green, also top end of the fun category, man. The Dookie Brown jerseys kind of remind me of the Browns situation. I'm not a hater of this team. I just think it's a fun. I'm not going to throw in the top tier for me personally. I think it's definitely a fun. You do lose, what's his name? Harold, whatever his name is, the tight end, who was literally, man, I feel like this guy did not get any other love he deserved, man. What is his name, man? Bowling Green tight end. Man, he had insane numbers. Thank you. Hold on. I got to look at his stats because I feel like people really don't know what type numbers he was putting up out there at Bowling Green. And on obviously didn't, or not, yeah, Bowling Green. Like, obviously didn't play in a phenomenal conference. But this man was going crazy. Let's call it what it was. Let me show y'all boys, man. Hold up. So, last year, man, 1,500 receiving yards, man. Am I reading that right? Am I reading that right, man? I believe he also went to Colorado, right? I believe he also went to Colorado with Shador. 1,500 receiving yards. Am I reading that right? He also led the nation in catches. He's a tight end, y'all. Do it have his height and weight? It don't. That's how you know he's on a small. He was at a small school. They haven't got his height and weight, man. 1,500 receiving yards, bro. Nuts. I digress. But yeah. Point is, they're a fun rebuild, man. Shout out to Buddy though. You say throwing the ball every play? Yeah. Shout out to Buddy. All right, on Buffalo. Buffalo be having them linebackers, man. It could be fun. This could be fun, man. This is going to be a solid team probably in the MAC. List is 77 overall. The website got them as the best team in the MAC. They got them as the best team in the MAC. Could be fun. I definitely can't put them in the easy category. But we could put them middle of pack. Could be fun for them boys, man. Yeah, shout out to Mr. Hurricane, man, for the Buffalo. Yeah, bro, I watched a lot of that Buffalo rebuild. Shout out to Hurricane. Central Michigan. Could be fun. Now, Eastern Michigan, correct me if I'm wrong, they have the gray field, I believe, right? I believe they have the gray field. And for that reason, they're going to be in the fun category, man. Someone please correct me if I'm wrong. They have the gray field. I'm a big fan of the color fields. And then you also combine that with a bad roster. Now we talking about a fun rebuild. Now we talking about a rebuild that could be enjoyable, man. Also, I like the unis as well. Definitely fun category for me. Miami of Ohio. Could be. Depend what you do with it. Wouldn't be my preferred choice. It could be, man. 73 overall roster. Northern Illinois, man. Come on. NIU. The beater of Notre Dame. The beater of Notre Dame, man. We got to put them in a fun category, man. Can you double it? You got to put Notre Dame on that schedule every single year, damn near. But no, I would put them in a more fun category, like the Husky. Next, we got Ohio. We're coming to an end, y'all. We're coming to an end. We're almost there. Next, we got Ohio. It's another one that's like don't really move my needle that much. It's not a great roster, but it's also in a conference that's not that good. It just don't move my needle enough to be in the fun category. If you want to go do this rebuild, by all means, go do this rebuild. But I wouldn't go tell you to go do an Ohio rebuild, man. The Bobcats, 70 overall roster. Toledo should be a middle of the pack team out here in the MAC. Maybe even compete to win the MAC. It's a solid roster. Can't pit them anything higher than it could be fun, as they're a pretty good team in the MAC already. Western Michigan is going to be next on our list. and it's another team that's like, where's Central Michigan? It's another team that should be right next to Central Michigan as don't move my needle. Yeah, put them right next to Central Michigan. Just don't move my needle for they're not Eastern Michigan, man. Ohio has great unis. Yeah, they're not Eastern Michigan for me, man. They're not Eastern Michigan with the field and the unis. So yeah, they're gonna be in the could be fun on my list. All right. Now we get into independence, man. Independence. So you obviously get Notre Dame. You know, not much to say. A playoff team, a very good roster. The best running back in the game, I believe. Jeremiah Love. Yeah, it's not much to say. It's too easy, man. It's too easy. it's definitely too easy. If you're rebuilding this team, it's not much reason to do it. It's nothing to rebuild. You're going to make the playoffs damn near every year, man. Damn near every year. UMass, we'll go on top tier. UMass rebuild, man. Like, recruiting in Massachusetts is not ideal. It's not ideal. You got to go out of state for a lot of guys, and it's not like you could just go to the state next to you. Maybe you can. Maybe go to New York. But maybe go to New York and get some guys. A couple states over. And also go to Jersey and get some guys. But it's not in the best area. You're not going to have the best pipelines. You're not in a conference right now. I believe they go to a conference, next year? I believe they go to a conference the 26th season. I believe they'll go to a conference. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they'll go this year. I believe it's 26th season. But, yeah, we'll put them in the top tier category for me. Next, you get UConn. And UConn is a fun rebuild, man. Another basketball school. Maybe they should be right here with Duke, Kansas State, and Kentucky for the basketball schools. But I do think this is a fun rebuild. I think it's another one with recruiting is tough. You're in Connecticut. You got Boston or you got Massachusetts right next to you. You know, you got New York, so maybe you could tap into that New York pipeline. But it's not ideal situations. Your in-state talent is not going to be great. And that's always a struggle also when you're a smaller program. Now I feel like we just gotta go ahead and throw Delaware. I mean, yeah, and Missouri State and top tier. You know, the two new teams to FBS ball. I think this one is a given when it comes to top tier. I mean, gotta be a given, right? Who don't want to rebuild the two new teams? Delaware is definitely going to be in my top 10 teams who I'm deciding to rebuild for my year-long rebuild. Delaware is up there. I'm deciding. Missouri State is not up there for me. But definitely Delaware just because I'm from Philadelphia. So I've been to Delaware a bunch of times, been out there. So I'm actually familiar with the area. So it's a top rebuild in my top 10. And also, I think it's a rebuild that a lot of people. I think both of these will be super popular. Everyone wanted to rebuild Kansas State last year, Kennesaw State last year. And that's another team that can go ahead and go into the top tier category, man. Year 2 in FBS ball. And did they beat Liberty last year? I believe they beat Liberty last year for like their first win of the year. I think they went like 2-10 on the season, somewhere around there. I think they got their first FBS win against Liberty, who was actually good team last year. They was actually a good team last year. This year, we'll see how good Liberty is. They probably will still be a top team in their conference, but they obviously lost their starting quarterback to Colorado. But let's go ahead and rank Liberty. Where these boys at? Liberty. I'm not going to put them in the could be fun category, or I'm not going to put them in the fun category just because I think they will be one of the top teams in their conference, man. They've been going crazy in their conference for a little minute now. I'm not going to lie. So, yeah, they're going to be in the could be fun category. FIU. The thing with FIU and also FAU, we'll kind of group these two together. And just because they're, both super similar, man. I think last year their pipelines was super similar. I think they came in with the same exact prestige last year. I think it's two teams that's just very similar. Both in Florida, you're going to recruit similar. You're going to have the same struggles when you're going at the top guys in Florida. You got to deal with Florida State, Florida, Miami. It's going to be a challenging rebuild to really turn this program around. But the benefit is you're in a small conference, so it shouldn't be all that difficult. 3 good recruiting classes, 2 good recruiting classes, you're good. Your roster is going to be better than the rest of the teams in your conference. Sam Houston, I think, always is a rebuild more on the fun side. It's not as terrible roster when you compare it to the rest of your conference. Now, what you do get is your Sam Houston. You're also orange. You're also in Houston. And you're in a state where it's a lot of good players, but you're the smallest, maybe the smallest school in that state going after all these good players. But so I'm putting the back end of fun. I like this. I like a Sam Houston rebuild, man. I ain't gonna lie. I like a Sam Houston rebuild. So next on our list, LA Tech. So out of the 2 Louisiana schools left on the list, or it's 3 Louisiana schools left on the list, one has to go in the top tier category. And I want to go UL Monroe. Or it's actually 4 Louisiana schools left here. Who do we put in the top tier category out of 4 Louisiana schools? One of them got to make it. We could go with the worst of them, which probably would be UL Monroe. But I just like something about the Cajuns, man. I just like something about them. They feel like they little bro to LSU, and they don't like that. Them boys do not like that. They don't like feeling like they little bro to LSU. They do not like that one bit. You got to put LSU on that schedule every year. Every single year, you got to put them on that schedule, and you got to beat them at some point. So we'll throw them boys in the top tier category. Next, let's go ahead with, I guess, the rest of the Louisiana schools, man. LA Tech, another, like, the thing about Louisiana, you're in the South. You said FIU got the Pitbull Stadium. That could make them fun. The Pitbull Stadium. I forgot about the Pitbull Stadium. But LA Tech, the good thing about being in the South, being in Louisiana, you got a lot of recruits around you, but also you got a lot of schools around you that's hungry, that want to eat, that want them recruits. So you're dealing with that also. I think they're in the fun category for me. Middle Tennessee is not a great roster. Back in the fun. Borderline could be. The more I think about it, the more I want to drop them down. But I'll leave them. I think it's a rebuild worth doing. You got to move them to a different conference at some point. It's probably a rebuild worth doing. Also, New Mexico State, pipeline's not going to be great. Lower overall roster, but all the schools in this conference are lower overalls, man. Conference USA might be the worst conference when it comes to, it might be the worst conference. So, a lot of these schools are going to be up here in the more challenging category. But you got to move them outside your conference. Like, you got to move them outside of Conference USA because, like I said, by year 3, 4, you're going to be winning that conference every year. And you damn near going to be making the playoffs because you're going to go undefeated in your conference at least. And you're probably going to win your conference championship damn near every year. So that's one thing to keep in mind. UTEP is next. It's going to be another fun one for me. Another super small school in Texas that I actually got a buddy that works here. I got buddies that work at a lot of these schools. But I think it's going to be a challenging rebuild. 70 overall roster. But like I said, that's like middle of the pack. All these schools in this conference is lower overalls. I do like how they dropped everyone overalls, man. I do like that. They dropped everyone overalls, and I think a lot of team overalls is going to be uplifted. So like you might see teams in the high 90s compared to last year. Saw teams not that high maybe, especially for Dynasty. But this year you'll see teams in low 60s as they should be. Delaware, Missouri State should be a 59 overall, 58 overall. We'll see when that official roster actually drop. And we should be getting that this week, I feel like, man. Should be getting that this week. Western Kentucky is going to be nice scenery for UTEP. Next is going to be Western Kentucky with the nasty mascot. It got to be in the fun category for the mascot, the jerseys. Other than that, I don't really like the mascot, but it's a fun mascot, man. If y'all know what I'm talking about, y'all know what I'm talking about. I think that's going to be all of the Conference USA teams. I think it's going to be all the Conference USA teams. We move on to the Sun Belt. Move on to the Sun Belt Conference, man. So Arkansas State, borderline, one of the better teams in this conference, the Blob. What's your favorite conference? SEC, man. It means more. But yeah, Arkansas State, Duffy in the SEC, or not SEC, could be fun category. Big Red. Like I said, just one of the better teams in the conference. Same thing with Troy. You're probably looking at, two of the better teams in the conference. Troy out there in Alabama. You're in the South, so shouldn't be too tough, All right, what else we got here? Coastal Carolina, another team that gotta be fun. I mean, it gotta be fun. No, it gotta be top tier. The jerseys, the field, the jersey and the field, and Coastal Carolina baseball team made the World Series. Obviously they didn't win it, and obviously this is football, but a fun team, man. A fun team. 68 overall according to the website, so they're going to be kind of bottom of the barrel when it comes to their conference and just the video game stats. So let's continue to move on. Georgia Southern, my guy, he actually played football at Georgia Southern, man. I think it's a fun rebuild, man. I feel like Georgia Southern and Georgia State are like super similar. Kind of same thing with FAU and FIU. If you want to pit both these and it could be fun, or all 4 of these schools in the fun, or all 4 of these schools and it could be fun, I wouldn't be mad at it. I think all 4 of these are kind of similar rebuilds here, man. I'm put these 2 up here. Nah, I gotta be fair. All 4 going to could be. Borderline, though. Borderline. Underrated one for sure. Georgia Southern should be a top tier. Yeah, I just talked myself out of putting them in fun. I just feel like all 4 of these are kind of similar, man. Kind of similar rebuilds as far as like you're in a state where it's a lot of talent, but it's also a lot of big dogs that you got to compete with. They're all probably going to have similar pipeline situations, similar prestige, 1 to 2 prestige, somewhere in that range. Maybe 1 to 1.5 more likely is where they're going to be at. All those are, I just feel like, super similar. We'll put all of them in the could be. Nah, all of them in fun. I'm tripping. All right, let's move on. James Madison, man. James Madison, they solid, man. JMU. I also know someone that work at JMU, man. JMU could be fun. Newer team to FBS football, but also not a bad team. Not a bad team, man. Not a bad team, honestly. We'll see how good they'll do this upcoming year, but wouldn't be surprised if they do pretty good in their conference. Wouldn't be surprised. UL Monroe. Duffy could be fun, man. borderline a top tier. Like it's a challenging rebuild when you consider where you at, and you got three other Louisiana teams you got to go up against, and you're the smallest of all of them. Maybe the lowest star ranking of all of them. Louisiana Monroe is going to be a 1-star. The other Louisiana teams is going to maybe 1.5 or higher. The Canes probably be 1.5. LA Tech probably be 1.5. Louisiana probably be, or LSU probably be 4. You're looking at Monroe being, the only 1-star school in the conference. So building that up, challenging. Marshall, new head coach. I think it's a fun rebuild, fun concept. Got a new head coach to the program. I believe their head coach came over from, oh man, I'm going to get this wrong. Did their head coach come from Southern Miss to Marshall? Or did Marshall head coach go to Southern Miss? I forget which way it went. But both of those rebuilds, I believe, are fun because it's an interesting concept, man. Because one was the best team in the conference. One was the worst team in the conference. And the head coach left from the best team to the worst team in the conference. Either way, I think both of these are fun rebuilds, man. Because it's just weird. It's something weird happening. I feel like it wasn't talked about that much because it was in a small conference like on the Sun Belt. But I think that's a fun rebuild. You got Texas State, another super small program in Texas. The Bobcats. You say, yeah, see me doing Cajun rebuild? Uh-huh. Bobcats, we'll put them in the fun category. Y'all know the story on Texas, man. Y'all know the story on them Texas schools. Let's move on to the American Conference. Man. App State. I always feel like App State should be in Hold on, App State is still in Conference USA, I believe. Let's go ahead and start off with Charlotte. 49ers. Pac-12 Bobcats. Charlotte, I think we moved them in the fun category. Same thing with East. Man, East Carolina is not a bad roster, man. They're really not. I like both these teams, though. And I also like East Carolina. I like their jersey. Also like their field. I like their situation. We'll put them boys in the fun category. Memphis is probably going to be your best team in the conference. So I'll go ahead and throw them in the could be fun. I can't throw any of these small programs in the easy category. I just can't do that. I just can't. But, yeah, this is probably going to be your best team in the conference. North Texas, I feel like also is usually a rebuild that's pretty fun, man. You got the Kelly Green jerseys. Come on, man. You got the Kelly Green. We'll put them in the fun category, man. Actually, North Texas is another fun one. Rice is I feel like Rice got to be right next to him, man. You got so many Texas schools in this game. Is it double-digit Texas schools? It might be. It probably is. If not, it's close. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It probably not double-digit. We might get to 8, 7. That's a lot, though. South Florida. I mean, another team that's pretty solid for the conference. UN Florida. I feel like recruiting with South Florida was never difficult in College Football 25. Where I just feel like it wasn't that challenging with this team. Even though you are going up against the big dogs, you do have the pipelines. Like, I feel like this is a could be fun, but it also could be easy. It could be easy. Tulane. Man, I like a Tulane rebuild, man. The thing about Tulane rebuild, like for it to be fun, you got to throw LSU on that schedule every year, you know. Same concept with with NIU and throwing Notre Dame on. Is there a rivalry? No, but for the fun of it, throw them on the schedule every year. Also, Tulane, throw LSU on that schedule, man. Make that a rivalry. Make it a rivalry until you beat up on them every time and you don't want to play them no more. Tulsa, it's not a great roster, but for me, nothing sticks out for this to be a great rebuild or for me to be a fun rebuild, man. It's not a great roster. It's going to be a bottom of the conference team. Maybe definitely a bottom of the conference team. But we'll put them in the could be category for me, man. UAB, I enjoyed the UAB rebuild. Was it difficult? No. It was fun, though. It was fun. Not difficult, though. Alabama recruiting. In college football 25, our biggest opposition in recruiting was Clemson, not Alabama, which was nuts. All of the Alabama players wanted to go to Clemson instead of going to, Alabama with Caleb DeBoer, which was interesting, but fun rebuild. UTSA, Road Runners. I put them in the could be. Another Texas school. Where we at? 6 Texas schools? 6, 7 Texas schools at this point. Definitely put them boys in the could be category. And we have a few more schools left, man. Jacksonville State. Jack State. Not a great roster. The Gamecocks. Come on, man. Come on, man. You said Tulsa be getting glazed and sim? Not a great roster, though, man. We'll put them in the fun category. Are we getting to the end here, man? Only a couple more left. South Alabama, man. Like, if I got... Yeah, we'll go could be fun. I already got UAB up here. I think UAB and South Alabama kind of similar. Both small schools in Alabama. Different parts of Alabama, but your pipeline's going to be similar. You're going to be getting into similar type recruiting battles. Roster is not great. We'll go ahead and throw them in the same category just because they're so similar. Old Dominion. We'll go ahead. Could be fun. Solid roster for the conference. For the conference, man. For the conference. Not compared to, obviously some of these big dogs. But for the conference, it's going to be a solid roster. Could be fun. Definitely could be fun, man. Next, we got App State. And App State is a fun one, man. I like App State. Little Sun Belt type rebuild. That leaves us with one school, man. That leaves us with one program, and that's going to be TU. TU, Temple University, is a top-tier rebuild, man. That's a top-tier rebuild. Chat, that's a top-tier rebuild. What's up, Kennedy? You said Temple better be it's a top-tier rebuild, man. That's what it is. Coming off of not a great year, fired our head coach. You play in an NFL stadium. One of the few college football teams that play in an NFL stadium. We got that stadium pulse ranked. This capacity is around 56,000. You could get that stadium pulse ranked. I got it ranked in 25 with my rebuild. I think it definitely could be a fun one, man. Can you convince these 5-star athletes to come to the hood of Philadelphia, North Philly, to play for Temple? Can you do that? That's tough, man. That's tough. That is tough, man. That is tough, man. Took us a while. We've been recording for 2 hours. Took us a while. But we have done it, man. We have done it. We're going to post this on YouTube. If y'all enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate y'all boys, man. We on to the next one.